Y'all niggas got me hot. Yeah.
On a different topic, on a more, honestly, I would say serious but annoying topic. Meghan Markle versus the British media.
The
I'm just gonna ask. I'm gonna say to the camera, what has this girl done for her to be the most vilified person in UK? I don't understand.
I know
Every little thing
what
she
she's
does
done.
is an issue.
She decided to be black.
Wake up.
She decided to have.
Actually, only half.
But
decided to have melanin in
according
her.
to people like Piers Morgan and Philip Schofield, she's never said, the media have never been racist to Meghan Markle.
Philip Schofield
And
is
this
an
is
idiot, man.
They've never been racist.
Do you know, we've had conversations here where we've spoken about the racism in this country, and it is subtle, it is passive, it is not in your face, but it's still there. Why are you targeting her? When man like, what's it? Prince Andrew, I like, is a paedophile.
The Queen's favourite son
It's
is a
all out there,
paedophile.
but no one wants to talk about it. What's the other one? William. Didn't he cheat on his wife?
With her best friend.
No, it's a lie,
But you want to go pick on someone who's been unproblematic, who's just had a
Her
child.
mouth is quiet. She doesn't say nothing.
Every little thing she does is
She doesn't say
issue.
anything.
And she's actually
Her
a
mouth is
made
quiet.
woman. That she's actually made her own
They tried to say
career.
that she was broke before she got with Harry.
That she was a
After
gangster.
Yeah, she
done
was a
Suits and everything.
struggling actress.
Like,
I was like, she
living
was
in-
on
When
suits.
Kate
Living
Middleton
in
was
Compton.
broke there.
She was in the film with Skepta though.
Yeah, she was. No, but see, fam, she was in the whole Suits.
Fam, do you know how much she got
Do you know
paid?
how popular Suits
She
is?
made more than Harry.
Exactly.
I saw the thing, how much he was getting paid from the army. He wasn't
Well,
getting
Harry
paid that
doesn't
much.
make anything.
Yes, but Harry,
But when we put these two
Harry doesn't
together,
make-
when we put these
but
two
Harry's
together,
rich just
she was
because of
still rich.
nepotism.
You know what I'm saying? Harry doesn't make any
Anything.
money. He
But he's-
uses taxpayer.
Money. He doesn't make money.
He doesn't
From the
make
army, he was
money.
making money.
You don't
But
make money from
you
the
don't
army.
make
The
money
army
from being
pays
royal
you.
family.
you need to
He's
pipe
richer than
down.
them, like by far. Yeah, like he's rich by leaps and bounds. Like the Queen's money is different money, but still.
Have you man seen all them people that are trying to justify all them? I can't lie, from my case study, it's been white people, and there was
Of course
also
it is.
one Indian woman that I heard at LBC fam talking about.
What's she doing?
She's talking rubbish, fam, trying to justify what the media's doing, fam.
Or I saw
Question time.
one Asian lady when she was like, if I was part of my family business and I wanted to leave, I would have a conversation with them first. And the way she's gone about it is not
How do you
right.
know?
I'm just like,
But
no,
the thing-
you
but-
man know
But the
the
thing
details.
is,
fam.
and people are,
pissing
the
me
funny part is, it wasn't even Meghan who said anything. It was Harry. But
Yeah.
you don't want to target Harry because he represents the royal family. You want to target someone else.
And how Piers is shouting that they bullied the Queen. Oh, you think they can bully the Queen?
Do you know who the
Did
Queen
you not
is?
see the Queen driving the Range Rover? Fam, she was like singing for that shirt, fam.
Skanks on the ride, yeah, we bring it. Dudes over there in them jackets.
What are you talking about? You can't bully the
Man,
Queen.
you know my dam has been there since World War II, fam.
Bro,
You think small relationship will
If
do something to her?
the Queen is gully, and second of all, this is the most important. Harry is not in line for the throne.
No.
It doesn't.
He's royal,
He's like
large,
sick.
but
He's not
He
going to be
does-
king.
He's not going to be king. So even if you want to keep your pure white nationalism, fine. You will have it. You will have it. Just let Harry and his beautiful black wife be in peace. But then the media will say this.
See the way she looks at him.
She loves
The
him.
way she looks at him. You
They
see the
love
way
each
she
other,
looks
man.
at
They
him.
love each other.
But no,
They
but
love each
I
other.
can't remember who it was. I was watching one interview. I think it was one guy, Eamon. He's one big presenter, one Scottish presenter. Eamon Sutton.
Eamon Holmes.
Eamon Holmes. That's it. He was like, I just don't like her. I just don't like
He's
her.
like, I've never met
I've
her.
never met her, but I just tell her I just don't like her.
I was like,
Why won't you?
That's weird.
What has
She's
this
just
girl
manipulative.
said?
That's the worst kind of person.
What has this girl said? Like, this girl hasn't said anything inflammatory. This girl hasn't said anything derogatory.
mouth is quiet.
This girl keeps her mouth quiet. Like, to me, she hasn't done anything wrong, but apparently, according to the media, she's manipulating Harry. She's using him.
This was what I saw on
She's
TalkSport. Someone was saying all of that, and you can just tell they had just seen this on a newspaper.
Oh my God, there was one guy.
And the guy asked him, how did she manipulate him? How did she do this?
Oh, with the radio show, innit?
He couldn't answer.
One LBC.
Yeah. He couldn't answer. And
no.
he tried to divert here, tried to throw red herrings and jump off the conversation. The guy pulled it back, said, I've asked you this question, you still haven't answered. Couldn't
But
answer,
most
fam.
people,
It's
now they're
racism,
trying to...
it's fueled by racism.
But now they're trying to like blame it on like how she doesn't respect the traditions, like the whole having a black priest in the church. People had a problem with that,
close your
and then
mouth.
the whole she doesn't want to show her baby to the world straight away
But
after giving
people
birth.
are
Kind of problem
acting,
with that.
like people are acting like Meghan Markle. First of all, Meghan Markle. First of all, if she wants to have a black priest in the church, that's fine. That's a part of her culture
What's
too.
wrong with that?
Weddings are the unification of two. If of two, of the unification of two different cultures, so it makes sense for her to have a culture. The wedding was still 90% English. You just had a black priest. It
And a
was
choir.
still. Do you know what I mean? So allow us.
Shout out to Uncle Paul. My uncle, he sang at the wedding.
Oh,
Yeah, you know the guy did the solo?
Okay.
He was my dad's groomsman.
Damn.
Right.
Okay,
I know one of them, man, fam.
Represented.
Shout out to David
Shout out
Beckham
Uncle
because I can tell the black priest touched him, fam. Where David Beckham was smiling, fam. Yeah, that black priest touched him, fam. Shout out to the bad guy. But anyway, they're acting like Harry has no choice in the matter. Like Meghan is the one. Do you think? Let's go with the narrative that Meghan's manipulating. Do you think Big Prince Harry will allow some?
Do you see that picture when he's like this?
Yeah.
You think women like this can't be manipulated?
Can't be manipulated. He's a prince. He was in the army. Do you think my man can be taken for idiot?
And out of Diana's kids, he's the one that's the most like him as well.
Yeah.
I know, fam. Not to be conspiracy theory. He knows that.
He knows.
He knows.
Do you ever see that
He's
one
been
interview
saying
that
it.
he was
Yeah,
having?
and he was
I don't
His
need
official
to my
statement,
mum.
because of what happened to my mother.
And he was like, he was going around the topic, but yeah, he
knows,
said,
man. He
he said, if you knew what I knew, you'd know why I want to take my family out and make sure they're safe.
I will always protect my family, and now I have a family to protect. So everything that she went through and what happened to her is incredibly raw every single day, and that's not me being paranoid. That's just me not wanting a repeat of the past. And if anybody else knew what I knew, be it a father, be it a husband, be it anyone, you'd probably be doing exactly what I'm doing as well.
He knows.
Wow, he
Do
knows,
protect your family, Prince. No, King. Protect your family, King. You're my king. You get me?
Fam.
Protect your family. But the thing is, like the media, like people like Piers Morgan will say, "Oh, like the media haven't been racist."
I'm
There
so
hasn't been.
tired of Piers Morgan.
There haven't been
I
any.
can't even lie, fam. When I scroll through socials, yeah, or I'm watching videos or something, people like Piers Morgan, Katie Hopkins, they get me vexed to the point where I wouldn't even talk to them. I just want to hit them. I can't lie. fam. I just want to slap you. Just slap some common sense into your head.
But it's even hard to have conversations with him because when people
Fam,
come on these
you
shows,
can't.
he
You actually
just
can't.
shouts at
You
what
can't have a conversation
They
with
don't
the
get angry when
prime
you
minister.
interrupt him.
But
The
the
problem
problem
is the one that's always
the
talking
problem is you're
everybody.
going on his platform.
It's true, but someone needs to tell him, listen, if you ask me a question, let me finish and
That's why
let me
people like
talk.
Susanna's they always trying to
No.
chill,
But the
I
problem,
love her.
But the
Exactly.
problem,
I
the
love
problem is, this is still Good Morning Britain. You are still a guest on that show, and you're only allocated a certain amount of time.
But
You see a
decent
conversation
respect.
that
Me,
is,
if I'm dead, bro, if you're giving me 5 minutes, I'm going to make sure
Exactly.
I talk for those 5 minutes, not you.
but the thing is, don't go on this platform. For me, if you're trying to have a conversation with Piers Morgan, I'll be like, come here,
come to me,
come to me,
basically. Yeah.
come to me because
But
I'm
obviously
not
he's
gonna.
the one with the
no,
biggest
he's the one
platform.
he's the one with the big platform. But I'm sure this, for example, there's certain figures that Piers Morgan doesn't do that to. Remember when he had a conversation with Carla? He wouldn't dare
could
cut off
never.
a Carla because he wouldn't dare. Remember, he's like, I disagree, but he wouldn't dare. But oftentimes, especially.
Because that's what happens when you talk to someone that's educated.
But oftentimes, what he would do, have a lot of times it is female guests. He'll have female guests on the show, and he won't let them talk. He'll say something, and he'll be like, "No, but explain that.
ask them
Explain that."
something.
So relax.
Yeah.
Shout out to what's her name?
the big
Dr. Shola on that was on This Morning.
Oh, yeah.
And then basically Philip Schofield asked her, I haven't seen any racist press, so why is the press racist? And she says, the fact that you're asking me this question, it makes me think that you don't watch the media. It makes me think that you're undermining black people's experience because a lot of the time people will say, I haven't seen racism. I can't, like, let's just anything. You are white.
Thank you.
You're white.
Oh, this
You are white.
pisses
And
me
there's always
off.
white people saying that rubbish.
Yeah, it's always the white people shouting it's not racist. Like,
Because
Like, who are you to
You
judge?
can't-
come and tell
With
me
em-
it's not racist.
in order to empathize, you have to have experience.
Exactly.
You have not been through my
you.
shoes. You not have seen the
So did
experience.
you see
And they don't
that
try
guy
to
Question
be.
Time where he was like, "Oh, you calling me a white
He's
privilege is
racist.
racist? You're
Oh my
racist."
He's an
way.
idiot.
I was like,
Like you've never heard
Okay.
what
I
white
realised
privilege
they
is. You don't even know what it is.
Fam, I realised they love
Pete,
to play
okay,
victim.
okay.
For real, man. Like I said, it's
Okay.
racist.
They love to play victim.
They have to be a victim. I'll just ask them this. Okay, you love the British Empire, right? Do this shit. Do your Googles on British Empire.
Did you see that woman that asked Piers Morgan about the British Empire?
Yeah.
"Yeah,
Yeah, and he tried to divert it and go
It's
over her.
changed. No.
There
no.
are pros and cons.
Which is something that they didn't even
More
teach us in
more
school
cons
properly.
than pros.
If you hate if you want us to get, if you want us to get out of our country, blame your ancestors because they
Exactly.
left our countries.
Exactly.
If they left our countries alone,
we would
I'd
be
be there.
peaceful. Where
wrecked
we
Africa,
would.
every
Had
country in
no
Africa,
come
boy.
here.
And in fact, You lot told Jamaicans and Caribbeans to come here. You lot told them to come here.
We live in a post-colonial world, and it's their fault, fam. It's actually the British Empire's fault. How can you go to someone's backyard and tell them, this is my land now?
Trust me. How can you call me, the country that I live in, you want to come call me savage?
And then those people,
I live here.
They call them savage.
They call them savage, but at the same time, like a few, almost 50 years later, say, oh, do you know what? Come,
teach us.
The same people that you went and called savages and you took over their land. Now you need their help.
Need you lot to
now
work.
that they're in your environment, now it's a problem.
And then like the Moors taught
Hypocrites.
British people how to wash themselves because they didn't know how to bathe and how to like.
I mean, do you remember
Remember Love
I did
Island?
history
Remember Love
event.
Island when
Black-
Ovi
do you
was
remember-
washing himself, and then all
Oh,
the white girls
man,
were just
they-
looking at him
they-
like, "Wow."
like,
do you not watch
bruv,
yourself?
England, like London was there, even though this was like 100 years, like
Victorian
centuries,
times.
because
This is
the
recent.
Black Death.
Yes.
The Black Death.
All them rats
Because
running around.
niggas didn't wash themselves.
What would these men do? They would poo. They would release. They would excrete.
Fam, you
From
seen
the
the Oliver
bucket,
tweets?
dash out the window.
But the thing is,
White people been nasty.
I hate
White people
I hate when
been
certain
nasty.
white people, because I hate when certain white people do this. They'll be like, oh, but I don't have, that's not racist, but at the same time, you've never been a victim of racism. No, you haven't. Because you've always been in a position of power. You've always been in a position of power.
The majority. They've always
Majority
been
of the time, I
yeah.
know.
They've been the majority, never the minority.
Exactly. So it's like, you can't now speak on behalf of me as a black man or her or Ashley as a black woman and say that's not racist.
Or
No,
it's the
because
thing
you've
where it's
experienced
like,
it.
prove to me, show me where. It's like sometimes.
love saying
like, I was
that.
watching. I think it was this morning where it was like the guy was like how sometimes you can't. It's not black and white. It's just a feeling
I saw that
that
one,
you
I saw
have.
that one.
Like 'cause I think one where's she from? Indian. She's an Indian lady. She was like how when she was 6, she went to some theatre and the person that was giving her the snacks gave her the wrong change and like. But gave her white friend the right amount of change, but gave her the wrong amount of change. And like the way she was looking at her, the way she was like interacting with her, she could tell like something was different. So she said like some things like that. If you said that to somebody else, they'd be like, "Oh, maybe she just got the wrong change,
Exactly.
or maybe she just da." But sometimes when you have that feeling and you know, it's not just I'm just playing the race card for bags.
Exactly, and
I
for someone
feel
to
it
ask you that
in my
question,
soul.
you can't give them that feeling.
You
like,
can't.
You know how you felt.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and a lot of the time, people don't listen, they just listen to argue. And it's like, if you actually listen to what I say, there's a reason why, right? A lot more of the times, people who grow up in low social, people grow up in certain areas, grow up in ends, white people grow up in ends, are able to understand the black plight more because they've seen what their friends have gone through.
It's
And they
interesting,
speak
you know?
about it as well more.
See, like it's crazy. Seeing sometimes is believing. Like seeing sometimes on a
Yeah.
regular basis why your friends are being pressured, why people around you are being treated a certain way, enlightens you. Obviously, you won't have a full understanding of it, but at least you have a basic
That's
grasp.
like
of,
even what Adele said when she accepted her Grammy, how Beyonce's music makes her black friends. She knows how that makes them feel. So she's lived in Tottenham, so she knows black people.
For
like
example, for those of
No, Adele's from End still.
there's also
Yeah,
Adele's-
yeah,
so
yeah,
even
yeah,
even on an
that. You
American
can tell
side,
her voice as well.
even on an American side, there's a some people might watch sports program called First Take, and there's a presenter called Max Kellerman. And Max Kellerman said something so real. He's like me. He grew up in New York. I can't remember what part of New York, but he grew up in one of the boroughs with a lot of black people, obviously.
Yeah.
And he said, listen, I am a white man. If I don't come up here and use my white privilege to tell other white people that black people are suffering,
Yeah.
I'm not doing my job properly.
There we go.
And I was
There we
like,
go.
people like Max Kellerman are so important in this world because
Honestly.
at the end of the day, as much as the struggle is painful for us, and as much as us telling our stories is important, they're not going to listen to us. At the end of
We
the day,
do need allies.
They're not gonna be able to digest the information coming from us because we're either the angry black man or the angry black woman.
Yeah.
Oh
we
my
need
days.
we need one of their own to speak to them, even though it's not fair, even though we should be able to talk to them and them listen. We know that's not the reality of the world.
No.
We know that the information is more palatable through their fellow white man or white woman's
Yes.
mouth.
No,
See,
rather-
remember
so
that's
we
what
need
Dr.
to listen
Shola
to that.
said. That's what she said when she said, what do you call it, how if Meghan Markle was to actually speak about how British people are treating her, then she'll just be seen as another angry black woman.
So that,
And they definitely wouldn't listen to her.
Exactly.
100%.
Definitely.
Like even the part where she was doing the documentary and the lady asked her, "Oh, how are you feeling?"
You
And
could
she
tell
was
her
like,
eyes.
"Oh, yeah, nobody's really asked me how I'm feeling, but I'm okay." But you can see that she was
Yeah.
upset. People getting onto her for saying that.
Katie
And I was just
Hopkins
like,
Crocodile tears.
did
this,
a
that,
whole
that.
skit on
rubbish.
it.
but
There's even like people like Anne Hathaway, because I remember when she posted about
she's
the whole
so
Sandra Bland.
unproblematic.
Like honestly, she
love
uses
her.
her platform to help black people and Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
So there's people like that we should appreciate too.
It's just like, again, sometimes I know like, oftentimes a lot we as black people say like it's frustrating having to explain like what we go through to white people, but
For real.
I feel like it depends. If you know the person is genuinely asking a question, explain it to them, because sometimes people don't know. And I understand like
Ignorance, right?
I understand ignorance because in the sense that because this is our reality, we know all too well what we go through.
Yeah.
But for somebody who necessarily doesn't live in our environment, doesn't live in our area, it might be hard for them to grasp. Not to say I excuse the behaviour, but I'm saying I understand where it comes
But
from.
it's a difference between listening to learn and listening to mock me.
100%.
Yeah.
No, 100%. Listen, no. And
That's what he was saying earlier. Like some people just listen to argue.
exactly. But if you, for example, I know sometimes like, let's say somebody may ask like an ignorant question like, why do you lot hate the media so much? Why do you lot do this or so much? And to you might be like, are you dumb? Like, fam, do you not see what they do to us? But at the same time, they don't see things through our lens because their reality is completely different to ours. So we should take so sometimes, not all the time, but
We should
sometimes
show them our perspective.
we
show
should
them our
take the
lens.
time to explain, because I know sometimes a lot of people, especially on Twitter, it's like, I shouldn't have to explain my experience, you should just know. They won't know. Because it's not
Sometimes
our
that's,
see through that as a
sometimes
white
that is the case and
privilege.
sometimes it isn't. It just
It depends. It depends. Obviously, if you feel this is a scenario where you can teach the person rather than attacking them. Obviously, some people like Piers Morgan are like they're
can't.
so convinced by their own rationality and own logic that they
You
won't
know
listen
what?
to you.
Someone like Piers Morgan, I'm sure he's not stupid
not-
enough
he's
to
not-
not realize. He knows.
He knows it.
He knows, but then again, he just wants to stick to his agenda.
He
because-
even agreed with Stormzy about the whole how Britain is racist, but he just loves to flip flop all the time.
He has to make both sides of the coin. But sometimes as black people, we should just explain our story. So even if you have to explain it 10 times, amongst those 10 times, you might explain it 10 times to 10 different people. If 3 of those people listen, that's progress. If 3 out of 10, even though if it seems minuscule, 3 out of 10 people listen, it's progress, because they will go on and tell their white colleagues and white friends, hey, I can't lie, we need to pattern up because it's affecting them this way. And their white colleagues will be more likely to listen to them to listen to us. It's a sad situation that we have to do that, but this is the reality we live in. We can't, because we are a minority in this country.
Yeah.
The election showed that we don't, in the grand scheme of things, we don't matter. So we need allies in this situation. You get me? It's
Sorry
sad.
to go on a tangent, but that was another thing that pissed me off. How everyone was shouting, vote Labour, vote Labour, vote Labour, vote Labour, yeah. We think Labour's going to win. The reality of life, and I'm so sorry, this might be rude, but they were never going to win. I'm so sorry, but they would.
No, if they won, it would have been a shock.
They were never going to win.
It would have been a shock. But
And everybody's shouting, yeah, on Twitter, blah, 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 whatever. We are London. We are a small percentage
This is
of the
what I
greater
said.
UK.
And
They
a
were
lot of
never
people
going
are
to
telling
win.
me, the election's rigged. Did you not see Twitter? I'm like, Twitter, right?
You lot
It's an
see
echo
Twitter.
chamber. It's an echo chamber. You follow people who are like-minded to you. So if the majority of your Twitter is voting Labour, it's because you are voting Labour. Twitter is not indicative of the rest of the world. Trust me. Black Twitter
Or
is a
another
very
thing
small...
where it was like, if you don't vote Labour, I'm cutting you off. If you don't vote Labour, I'm deleting you. I was like,
And the thing is,
I can't believe
serious?
people
And
do
the
So you
thing
that.
can't be friends with people because they have a different opinion to you.
Honestly.
And the thing is,
come out,
I don't like...
come out, get out.
Obviously,
Delete me.
Obviously, when it comes to politics, there's going to be stuff that you agree and disagree with. And obviously, like, I'm not going to say my political stuff, but obviously, like, Labour is deemed as the party that's more akin to the needs of the black and the working class. Fair enough. But to pretend that there's not at least a few conservative values that you agree with, it's stupid. Like, conservatives are not 100% bad. Neither is Labour
I was talking
100%
to someone about
good.
this. Was I talking to you about this?
Go on.
There are some conservative things that, in my opinion, make sense.
Of course there will be. But obviously you vote for what you agree with the most. And obviously some people agree with the most with Labour. But the fact of the matter is that, fam, and half of the people even got into politics because your favourite influencer wanted to vote. Like, stop that. Get into politics because you have a vested interest. Stop making voting a trend. I'm tired of it. Even though
It's not a bad trend.
No.
It's not a
It is
bad
a bad
trend.
because because you're voting ignorantly. You're not voting.
Because there's people that
You're
would
voting.
vote because
I'd
of someone
rather-
else's
you're
vote,
being
but
a
actually
sheep.
look into it.
I don't want sheep.
Can you imagine how many people were inactive, fam? And because their favorite
Don't
influencer
matter.
told them
But
to
some
vote.
of them, don't
I'd
actually
rather-
look
I'd
into what they're
rather-
voting
No,
for.
because do you know why?
Fair
Because
enough.
you don't understand what you're
That's a
Them
voting
type
for.
of people.
No, it's a good point. It's a good point. But I would still say you should vote
Yeah.
than not vote. You should.
Why not?
But vote
It
educate.
depends. It
Vote
depends.
being educated. Don't vote because
Alright.
somebody told you.
Exactly.
If
That's
it's a
what
I
it
know
is.
what you're
yeah,
voting
100,
for.
I agree. But if
You
it's a
might be
situation
voting,
where
then
it's
it's
like
really good.
in America where you're stuck between Clinton and Trump, I can understand if you don't vote.
Yeah.
But if it's like here where you know Jeremy Corbyn is better than Boris Johnson and you know he'll be a better leader and he seems
But at the
like
same-
a better human being,
but at the same-
I would personally rather vote for Jeremy
Well,
Corbyn
what about his
than I
views
would
and
for Boris.
everything, what he's standing
Yeah,
for?
listen, a lot of it is unrealistic.
Yeah.
But however, like I look at it from my perspective is, I wouldn't want that idiot Boris Johnson to run my country. I would
Fair.
rather want Jeremy Corbyn to run my country.
But sometimes, but sometimes it depends though. It depends. It depends what constituency you're in. For example, yeah, if you're undecided in your vote and you live in Hackney, there's no point in you voting. I'll tell you, Hackney will be predominantly Labour for the considerable future.
yeah.
Like it depends what constituency. Sometimes, yeah. For example, if you live in a constituency where it's been Labour for 20 years, and you're deciding that I'm gonna be Labour, you're undecided about your vote. You voting Labour ain't really gonna change nothing because because with politics, right? There are certain constituencies that are safe zones that are guaranteed to be that for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
If you live in a constituency that's guaranteed, it depends though. There are certain constituencies. If you live, the most important votes are the votes outside of London.
Yeah.
It's the people outside of London that we need to vote.
London is mostly going to
No,
be
not to say that
Labour.
people in London don't vote, because obviously that will change something. But obviously vote. But London isn't the primary market. We need to stop looking at London like it's representative
Like
of the
Oxford
entire
and
The
that.
UK.
entire UK, yeah.
It's not.
It's really not.
London, like the multiculturalism in London isn't even shown in other countries.
No.
Like London's one of the most multicultural cities in the world. In the world. So we
100%.
can't use London as the
100%.
barometer to measure other places in England.
We're privileged to be in this situation, right?
Massively privileged.
Yeah.
Massively
And it
privileged.
definitely doesn't reflect on the entire UK because
It definitely, fam.
when you actually check, there's so many blue conservatives.
Fam,
When you check, when they show
Literally,
you,
it was
you looked
literally
at
like red at the bottom. You see London, and then a couple red.
You see the-
then blue.
You see
Yeah.
London,
All the way
London,
from
red.
Oxford,
everywhere.
Oxford, Brunel areas, that's where it started going
So-
Yeah, then
conservatives.
it was all just blue.
So yeah,
Couple bit of red, but blue.
Yeah.
hey, we tried, man. We tried.
We
tried
tried.
to use our voice. We tried to
Go
use our
again next year.
platforms.
Whenever the next election. is.
Whenever
Go
we
again next
go
year.
again, fam.
4 years. But
Yeah.
no, don't get me wrong. I don't want to make it seem like I don't want people to vote. But if you're gonna vote, please
Be educated.
educate yourself, because you don't want to vote for something, because you could be voting for something you're actually opposed to. You like your favorite rapper might be
Because
Stormzy
of the
or
trend,
Dave,
yeah.
but because he's your favorite rapper, you might be voting for something. You might actually be a conservative, and
I'm
you.
sorry to say this, whatever. If a conservative, be that with your chest. Be proud of being conservative, because I'm just really tired of people shaming other people for their political views. Like, you haven't been through their experience, you haven't been through what they've been through, so stop telling them what to believe and what to
And
think.
especially when
and
you're-
why can't you be in a friendship with somebody just because they have a different opinion to you? Like,
Exactly,
Straight
and
facts.
the
That's
fun-
what real friendship is based on.
exactly.
Political
You just
opinions.
want yes people around you.
And the funny part is the people that will be judging if you vote conservative, you're done at it.
Oh God.
Name 5 things on Jeremy
manifesto.
Corbyn on the manifesto. Name 5. Name
It's a
5.
wrap.
Name 5.
It's a wrap.
What's
Tell
it
me.
called?
I know I can't. I know I can't. It's a wrap.
What happened was, yeah, like Jeremy Corbyn lived in Islington, innit? And that's my bit, innit? Shut up. Close it.
He was doing up the black apartheid thing in the 80s and that, yeah. He was fighting for them, right? Yeah, them things there.
Oh my
I can't lie, I could have named it.
And even with the whole Labour stuff, Corbyn's beefing, like the Labour, Corbyn is very different to the Labour Party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corbyn
He
is
he
very
he
different to the Labour Party. So when people say,
what he represents isn't actually the Labour Party to
Tony
to
Blair
the
cussed him out
entirety.
straight after the election.
Really?
Yeah, watch it. Tony Blair cussed him out. He's like, this guy's done out here, fam. Like, we're not doing this stuff no more.
I can't lie, I don't want to hear Tony Blair's opinion, fam. He's done that here himself, fam. He's been done that here himself.
Trust
fam.
me,
It's rough,
no.
fam.
The next leader of Labour will be more like Tony Blair than Jeremy Corbyn. 100%. 100%.
Is there a reason why I say that?
Huh?
Is there a reason why I say that?
The majority of the Labour Party hates Corbyn. That's why Corbyn said he's not going to run for Prime Minister again.
Yeah.
He's more like socialist. Isn't he?
He's very socialist. He's like left.
Yeah,
It's
no.
like left.
No.
Again,
I don't agree with that stuff.
if you're too far on either side of the spectrum, it can be problematic.
Yeah,
innit,
I
as
feel
well.
like there needs to be like a middle ground.
That was Lib Dems, but they shagged us, innit? So it is what it is. Hey, it's the first time we spoke about politics in this podcast. Maybe the comments are gonna flame.
True.
Oh my God,
Let
you know,
them.
ignorant. Like,
if we're
I
ignorant,
know I'm
tell
not
us why.
conservative, just to let people know I'm not.
If we're
I'm really
ignorant,
not.
tell us why, please.
My dad is, but I'm not. So
You're then.
yeah, he
Wait,
is.
what? He's what?
He's conservative.
He has his reasons, though, right?
Of course, he has his reasons.
Yeah, like. So that's why she doesn't want anyone to beef consensus.
No, it's not even that. It's not even that because
Nah, I'm joking, I'm
it's not
joking.
even that. That's just my person. That's not even on politics. That's anything. Like, why can't people in today's society understand that people have different views? And,
Nobody has the same
you're
ideas,
done it.
yeah.
You're
This is a
you're
tangent.
chatting shit. I'm like,
This is a tangent. This is a tangent. But you know, have you heard of situations where people say, "Oh, what would you do?" Like boys, for example.
excuse me.
What would you do if your boy turned out to be gay? And then the man will say, "Oh, leave him. I wouldn't befriend him." Da, 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 da. But that's been your boy since this big.
What does it have to do with no? I know.
He's not gonna move to you, bro.
When it comes to politics, unless no, there's only a few things that when it comes to politically that I'll cancel someone for. For example, if one of you, if let's say Boris Johnson is he won't do this, but let's say he's a Hitler and he's advocating for genocide, then I'll cancel you for politics. But really, he's not doing that.
As in, then you cancel someone for
Yeah,
consensus.
for being.
Or
aligned with that
even
party.
people who vote for Donald Trump. I don't know if I'd cancel you, but
Now look at you sideways. Still.
I'd look at you sideways. But I wouldn't cancel. Like, if we've been friends and you just
if-
have a different
if-
opinion to me.
Trump.
If you're wearing that full
We can still be
MAGA hat,
friends.
I'll catch you out still. If you're wearing that full, make America for who?
That statement.
For
Great
who?
again for who? Who was it great for back
who?
in the day? Who was
And
it great for?
when?
And when would he great?
These immigrants
When
need
the
to
British
get out
people
of
killed
our
off
country.
how many million Native Americans? That's when you were great.
For real, you yourself are
When you
immigrant, fam.
enslaved how many black people? That's when you were great.
Thank you.
Exactly. Tell him, Ash.
Well, anyway, it is what it is. When it comes to politics, you know,
Fam, Canada,
Yo,
here we
vote.
come.
vote for what you're passionate about and vote for what matters to you. And also, and if you as well, vote more in your local elections. The elections that affect your community directly. Because those ones are very important too. Yeah, those ones are very important too.
Yeah, we love it. Political NK. We love it, fam. We love it.
My government's been out there, family. It is what it is.
alright,
fam.
alright,
It is what it is. But anyway, this has been the first episode back in 2020 of the Rap Podcast. Make sure you like, share, favorite, subscribe, do all of that stuff. Make sure to listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, and all other streaming services that we're on. You get me? It's been the Rap Podcast. We are signing out. Deuces.
Y'all niggas got me hot.